Alright, here we go, spawning in the top right hand corner of Data Under the Sea in our first qualifying match. We have the Australian Terran player representing himself. It is Seither. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Data Under the Sea, we have the Australian Protoss player representing the CranKy Ducklings. We're totally not biased. It is StarDuck. StarDuck, the Duck of the Stars, El Patito himself, is up. He's out here. He's fighting against his fears, fighting against the terrifying, dreadful Terrans. Oh, can he do it? Can he pull it off? We are here to find out, as his opponent is historically one of the best that Australia has to offer. He is straight up one of the best players that Australia has produced in StarCraft. He has traveled internationally. You could argue that Seither is, a little bit in his twilight years. Hashtag Team Edward. But yeah, despite that, he's still an amazingly strong, or a terrifyingly strong player. Definitely someone you cannot underestimate. So far, we are going to be having actually Seither going for a Rax expand here. Interesting. Especially because so far in the meta, it feels like 2 gas openers have been so common for so long. But as we can see, Seither is only opening up with a single gas, so he doesn't tend to take his CC on location. Was delayed for a couple of seconds. We can see that Seither went up to 450 minerals instead of 400, so yeah, StarDuck doing his best to be a little bit annoying. And I'm sure that StarDuck is pretty happy to see that Seither is going for an economic opener, so he doesn't have to worry about anything early on. As StarDuck was able to get into the main and get a full scout and actually spot that gas. And the lack of second gas, really. Oh, so not bad whatsoever here. StarDuck is going to be getting in, just getting his natural up and running, working on his first adepts as well. Going to be able to go across the map and, maybe even delay this CC. That's going to be his ideal scenario here, as he is headed over across the map. Maybe get some SCV kills. We'll see what he can get done. Meanwhile, behind this, we have already commenced Marine production. We actually skipped our Reaper, if I'm not mistaken. We didn't skip the SCV scout, but again, we're just going straight into that Marine production. Hellions on the way as well. Medevac not too far behind this, and it looks like the CC should finish up here. The Adept, 1 second too late. Huh. But can he get the SCV? Up. What a bus. Oh, doesn't go for the SCV in the end, just gets one shot off, confirming, okay, the CC is now done. Oh, has to be careful not to lose this Adept though. Oh my god, actually runs into the Hellion. The Hellion chased down the Shade, and the Adept is going to be going down. That's pretty crucial. Without that Adept, we've lost so much scouting potential here for StarDuck. Aye. Nicely done here by Seither, chasing down that Shade and chasing down that Adept. Meanwhile, back at home, Seither going into his Widow Mine. Going into his Medevac. He's already got 1 Widow Mine out, got a second on the way. And yeah, going to be looking to not just deal economic damage across the map, but also get a full scout of the main base, figure out what tech he's up against. Because, again, since Seither did skip his Reaper, he's not really aware if there's a Stargate or a Twilight Council. He's still trying to piece it all together. His Marines just kind of scouring the map right now, going to be hiding here in the tall grass for any unit to stumble across them. Ground or air. And here comes that drop. What's interesting is that it's not just a purely Widowmine drop. We have a couple of Marines mixed in as well. So it looks like Seither wants to try and hit the third base, force a reaction, and likewise slip into the main. Can StarDuck keep up with this, as he only has 3 Stalkers to work with? Here we go. The 3 Stalkers are going to be pulled towards the third base at the same time. Widowmine drop into the main. StarDuck does have eyes on this. He will respond. Ooh, 1 Widowmine. Oh my god, both Widowmine shots go into the gas geyser. What? Oh my god. Was that luck or was that skill? I'm sure a little bit of luck. As the Widow Mines don't do any damage whatsoever. But StarDuck is forced to cancel that third. So the Marines were able to at least accomplish that, forced to expand a triangular third location instead. So Seither was able to deal some damage, not as much as he would have liked, but some damage nonetheless. Same time, of course, it was a Blink Stalker opener. We have our Forge for +1 on the horizon as well. Seither going to be waiting for the opportune moment to go in with this drop. Oh, still has one Widowmine in that medevac to go in. Meanwhile, as we have seen time and time again, we do see a couple more Raxes thrown down for Seither. Still no third base, but he has stopped tank production. If he had continued tank production, you know, he would most likely be going for a big 2-base all-in, essentially. Now that he has switched away, we're going to be working on more upgrades, combat shields, concussive shell. We've got our reactor on our factory as well for, I imagine, Widowmine production. We're going for a longer game. Oh, but maybe I spoke too soon, because we have 2 more Raxes in the natural. A little bit hidden here. StarDuck does blink into the main, but he doesn't see the rest of the production that's on the way. Oh my god, we do see one Stalker going down here, so not the best damage from these Stalkers. Meanwhile, a little bit of Raven harass, a little bit of a Widowmine shot going off in the main base. 6 workers are going to be going down, and the Raven escapes. Or does it? Meanwhile, this auto turret getting a little bit more damage done. The Raven is trying to get the hell out of here. The Stalkers are still a little bit too far back. They do have another blink. Up, 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 up. Ooh. Only a couple of shots, but we have a couple of intercepting Stalkers. Up, can he get it? It looks like in the end the Raven will go down. Pretty big pickoff. The Raven did already pay for itself, but if the Raven had actually survived, that would have been devastating for StarDuck. Meanwhile, +1 attack is about to finish up with these addition of these Raxes, 5 Raxes in total. Seither, he does want to hit on 2 bases. Oh, yeah. It's going to be going for a bit of a double drop here on the right-hand side. Widowmines are chilling, waiting for a massive blink into the main. But StarDuck does have eyes on this. He is fully aware, getting his 4th base up and running. We still don't have any splash damage available to us. We have a Robo, but no Robotic Spay. We're relying on pure gateway units here. Charge lots and Blink Stalkers. Drops have been able to avoid these Stalkers for the time being. The main army is pushing through the middle of the map. Boys are not being pulled with this. It looks like Seither is going to expand behind this push. StarDuck will get eyes on this. Is actually going to find the army in the middle map. Almost gets a tank. Oh, pretty huge that he didn't get it though. Here's Seither making his way on through. Meanwhile, no shield batteries here. No real defenses at this 4th base. StarDuck is going to be forced to cancel. And there we have it. At the same time, we have a warp into the main base, but no, StarDuck, he left the warp prism a little bit idle. Okay, he will be able to escape in time. And StarDuck's going for a mass round. The tanks are not sieged. Oh my god, both tanks go down. Oh my god, the medevacs! One full medevac gets picked off as well. StarDuck just swallows up that army, but at the same time, we have that one medevac drop into the main, getting 11 probes. So even though the tank count got reset, 11 probes and a cancelled 4th, this kind of makes it worth it here for Seither. He didn't lose too much of his army, did lose a chunk of it, but again, he still has enough to survive any kind of counterattack. Or he should. We'll see. We'll see as we have 1-1 finishing up here for StarDuck. He's going to be moving out across the map. That medevac drop is still alive in between the bases, by the way. Up. StarDuck actually just runs across this army. We do have the reinforcements on the way trying to set up us around, but a lot of these Stalkers are going down. Here we go. A couple of Widowmines do burrow as well. Widowmine shots are going to connect with those charge lots. Nice drag there from StarDuck, able to minimize that AoE damage. But he still just can't really compete with all these Marauders. Oh, and StarDuck has heavily overextended here. The charge lots go down, the Stalkers go down. We have that one medevac drop in towards the natural base, and the service area is insane. It's being reduced so much. Every single zealot is going to go down. And StarDuck, he has been broken. He is being pulled apart. He doesn't have the economy to sustain this. GG gets called. And Seither takes the first game. Losing all those Stalkers in the middle of the map was devastating. With this mass gateway style, you kind of build up your gateway army over time. And unfortunately, because of the delays on his third, delays on his fourth, like, and all that probe damage that was being done, StarDuck was really struggling to replenish his losses there. Just losing too much too quickly. GG. GG. There were a couple of good moments there for StarDuck though. Like I gotta praise him a little bit, right? Like surrounding the army, like his overall, it felt like his main engagements were pretty solid. Just getting pulled apart a little bit too much. GG. GG. Now we are diving into game number 2, and I'm curious as to what the vetoes were. I imagine Stargazers and maybe Waterfall. I say that because game number 2 is going to be on Moondance. It's definitely a map that you don't get to see too often, but a great map nonetheless. As we are going to be dancing in the moonlight. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Moondance, we have the Australian Terran player himself. He is blue, currently up 1-0 in this series. It is Seither. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Moondance, we have the Australian Protoss player representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is StarDuck. Yeah, so a great start here for Seither, but as a reminder, it's a best of 5, not a best of 3, so we still have plenty of games ahead of us. At least 2 games. Hi. Let's go, Poppy, let's go. And Seither is mixing things up. You know, in game number 1, he went for a Rax Expand. Here, he is going for a 2 gas opener, something that we, you know, expected to see and has kind of been a little bit more popular recently. Much more aggressive style, and we'll see if StarDuck, how he's going to be able to respond to this. Hopefully scout it, and hopefully not sustain too many losses to it. Shall see. As yet, we were just getting some updates in the chat as well, just letting us know that, of course, Mighty Kiwi and Jadoff, they are underway streaming their own POVs on their own streams. Meanwhile, StarDuck just going for his own Gate Expand, Cybercore on the way, everything's looking pretty standard. Seither, because we have 2 gases, he is going for the Reaper opener. Actually didn't go for an SCV scout, so early on being a little bit greedy and a little bit risky for not scouting with his SCV, but we'll make up for that with that Reaper. Meanwhile, StarDuck going on a little bit of an adventure here. He ventures off in towards the top right-hand corner of the map, and goes to that proxy pylon. What is our plan? This looks like a proxy Stargate. The Stargate is, you know, relatively close here by air to get that Oracle into the main base as soon as possible. This wouldn't be bad, but we have Hellions on the way. We're gonna have, I imagine, some more Reapers as well being produced by this Rex. We'll see. I'm worried that StarDuck may lose a little bit too much back at home if he doesn't have anything to defend. Meanwhile, the Reaper gets a full scout off. The Reaper doesn't see the second pylon behind the mineral line, so for all he knows, there isn't any kind of proxy. For all he knows, he's none the wiser here. We have continued Hellion and Reaper production. Again, Seither is going to be in the face of StarDuck soon, looking to break into the natural and the main base and get economic damage done. Oh boy, what is StarDuck going to have at home to defend, as he doesn't proxy a Stargate? Oh my god. Proxy Robo? Here? Are we getting a Bay? Are we getting like a Colossus drop? Or a Disruptor drop? Wait, no, not at all. We have 3 gates. He's going for a Prism. Okay. Let's go. We have 4 gateways finishing up. We do not have Blink, but to make up for the lack of Blink, we will have that Warp Prism. Meanwhile, we do have the 3 Reapers getting in towards the main base. We have the Hellions in towards the natural, and this is what I was worried about. Warp Gate is still not done, and probes are falling. The game may end before it begins here for StarDuck. One more volley goes off. 8 probes have gone down. StarDuck cleans everything up, but now the pressure is on. He's going to be going for a 2-base all in here again. 4 gates, mass, blinkless stalkers. Getting into the main. Is it going to be enough? We don't have defensive tanks. We don't have any upgrades on these Marines. We do have a Banshee on the way with Cloak, but it's going to take a while to finish here. There is an opportunity for StarDuck to get some damage done. As he's going to elevator everything into the main base. He can deny these add-ons. It looks like Seither, he doesn't see anything. Uh-oh. A couple of workers are being focused down here. Zealots are going to be able to get on top of that tech lab. The Banshee does come out. Cloak has been spotted. Oh, and the Cyclone comes out just in time. Can StarDuck really break through with the SCVs to help with them to repair as well? I don't know if he can really shut down this Cyclone. Or the Banshee. And even though workers are falling, and to be fair, this is a lot of economic damage. It looks like we have the lock on. Seither will not get the prism in the end. 14 SCVs have gone down, and Seither is knocked down to 16 workers. This is not bad. Especially because StarDuck also got the scout off. He knows that he needs detection back at home. We already have an observer. Speaking of the observer, trying to keep up with this Banshee. StarDuck himself trying to keep up as well. Observers aren't the fastest units, unfortunately. But Seither's economy is in shambles. StarDuck may not have ended the game then and there, but I mean, he's in a pretty good position to do so. Oh boy. See if he can pull it off. The Banshee comes across the map. We have a couple of Marines moving out as well. Again, abusing the fact that StarDuck just doesn't have a lot to defend with. He's trying to keep up with this Banshee. Again, Seither doing a great job at distracting the main army. Cyclones are on the way. Still no Twilight Council, still no Blink. I am worried for this third. And here we go. Immediately the pylon is being targeted. Overcharge is going to try and keep it alive. It looks like, wow, Overcharge is barely going to be able to do so. Oh, this could have been so much worse here, but StarDuck, he holds on. Cleans up the Marines. He's got the detection. Some of the detection anyway. Oh, we do have a lock on that prism. Do you have a scan as well? A bit of a wasted scan there by Seither. Very ambitious. Thankfully, back at home, tank production has commenced. We do have these defensive Banshees as well. Without detection, there's no way to really deal with them. Oh, but StarDuck, he smells blood in the water. He warps in another wave of these Zealots. He's trying to fix down as many workers as possible. Oof. And he gets 8 more SCVs. Now, to be fair, we do have 2 Banshees. Unfortunately, they're split up. So they're not going to be able to one-shot workers, but despite that, there is no shield battery in the main base. Ooh, 3 probes are going down. 4, 5. Oh. 6. Oh my god, 7 probes going down. Ay. Eventually this gets cleaned up, but this is going to equalize our workers here. Like, the Banshees for Seither are keeping him in this game. Ay. And Seither's actually not stopping. I'm a little bit shocked here, but Seither, like, he makes a 3rd Banshee. I think he knows how valuable they are. They've gotten an insane amount of damage. Just one Banshee has 8 kills. Got another on the way. Meanwhile, finally we have Blink, so StarDuck is going to have an easier time keeping up with these Banshees. Hopefully we get some shield batteries in every base. At the moment, some of these bases are looking a little bit bare. I'm really worried here for StarDuck because Seither is coming back. Not like this puppy. A Seither is going to be able to get his third base on location as well. It is going to be the pocket. It's a little bit inefficient. It's not the best base, but it's a base nonetheless. He's going to be safe here on his 3-base economy. He's going to be safe to expand even. Meanwhile, 7 more probes are going to be going down here as Banshees come in from both ends. And again, just finally StarDuck kills one of these Banshees. Finally. But the damage has been done. And any kind of economic lead that StarDuck had earlier is gone at this point. And I worry just because the tank count is getting higher and higher. The army of Seither has slowly been building up here across the map. We are still lacking in upgrades, but we finally have a tech lab on Iraq. So there we go. We do have Stim on the way. We're going to be catching up with Stim and combat shields and NG Bay. So as a result, his Marines aren't the most useful of units at the moment, but there's no way he's ever going to be broken here. He's got 5 tanks, soon to be 6. He's crazy, puppy. we have high sec auto tracking on the. Is this a mistake? Is this intentional? Is he? Wait, he has 3 NG bays. Wait, what? Is this? I need a message Seither after this game. Is this intentional? Meanwhile, this one Banshee in the main base going ham, getting 3 more probe kills. Ay. Finally, the Banshee goes down after doing so much damage. Oh my god. But so I have to wonder, I think Hisek is intentional. I wonder if the triple NG bay is intentional. Like, I feel like he's like, I have 3 NG bays. I may as well make use of it. I may as well get an upgrade because otherwise, like, what's the point, you know? But yeah, I have to think that the 3rd NG was a mistake. Interesting though, interesting. Yeah, that's a high sec auto tracking. As Seither, he's just turtling up even more. You know, next he's gonna get Neo Steel frames. Meanwhile, 2 Banshees dip in once again for getting 5 more probe kills. Not gonna lie, under the sea, like, I'm having a hard time, like, having eyes on these blue dots. it's too early for this, mate. It's too early. Aye. Banshee's going in once again. No shield battery. Oh god, StarDuck. He's being punished so hard for his greed for cutting all of these corners. Not like this. Finally, they're getting cleaned up. But when it comes to the main engagement, once again, StarDuck is going for this unit composition. Oh, as we saw 2 Twilight Councils. We have mass gateways, basically. We have Chargelots, we have Blink Stalkers, we're getting into Archons. But against like this mass tank style, I don't know if I'm convinced. Chargelots are good against tanks, don't get me wrong, but against this many tanks? Oh, I don't know, man. By the way, that tank count is still just getting higher. It's not stopping, puppy. It's never gonna stop. Oh. Here we go. As things are settling for the time being, StarDuck is getting his 4th base up and running. We still have that one pesky Banshee with 15 kills on it. No! Okay, I was about to say, is he going to get even more kills? StarDuck, please. He is. He is. More probes going down. Someone stop this man. Stop this Banshee. This Banshee. Not like this. Ugh. 18 kills towards the end there. Not like this. We have a scan at the natural for Seither to try and get eyes on what exactly he's playing against. The tank count once again just continuing to get higher and higher. We've got all of our upgrades on the way. Ghost Academy is done. Seither just perfecting his army. Soon I wouldn't be surprised if he gets into Liberator production. StarDuck can definitely make something happen if there was a fight in the middle of the map. That's the problem, right? That's the thing with these Chargelots. We want to fight out in the open to get a mass surround. Without a surround, this army, do we really expect it to push into this? He's gonna go for it. He's going for a surround. The tanks are a little bit exposed. The Marines are behind them. He's gonna try and come in from a couple of angles, but yo, Seither, he just throws down a wall immediately. One tank is gonna go down, maybe even two tanks, but it's just not gonna be enough. The Marines, they send one forward. And StarDuck is gonna lose everything here. Ugh. At the same time, we have that one drop into the pocket base of StarDuck. He doesn't even have a pylon here to warp in. He's got a couple of Zealots coming in though. StarDuck, he lost half his army. He's gonna try and make his other half work. Oh boy. He's gonna be able to get high ground vision and blink into the main, but at this point it's looking a little bit too late here. He doesn't have Storm, by the way. He drops the High Templar. He's got so much energy, but no Storm. No, I don't think this is intentional. Smurge, Buffy. Smurge. High Templar are going to be focused down here. They have plenty of energy. They could have changed everything. But a little bit too much chaos. A little bit too much going on. And Seither is going to be able to crush this. He's going to be able to push on forward. He stims ahead of time to make sure he's not going to run into more High Templar. There is Storm. Ah, so Smurge. Oh, God. He was so ready to drop those Storms, man. He was so ready for it. GG. Seither will take the second game. Oh my god. That was so sad. that feeling, that moment when you drop 4 High Templar in the face of a mass bio army and they can't do anything. They couldn't do anything. Feels bad, man. Earlier today we saw a game where Mighty Kiwi forgot Roach Speed. Here we see a game where StarDuck unfortunately forgot Storm. Oh god. I'm messaging Seither. I'm like, mate, was the third NGBA intentional? He's like, no. He's like, I forgot I built the first one. My bad, puppy, my bad. Here we go. We're getting into game number 3, potentially the final game of the series, as this is a best of 5. And spawning in the top right hand corner of Inside and Out, we have the Australian Terran player himself, currently leading the series 2-0. Just needs one more to qualify for ANZ Champs. It is Seither. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of Inside Now, we have the Australian Protoss representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is StarDuck. Oh boy, StarDuck has to. This has to be the start of the comeback. He has to bring it back here and now. We've had some, relatively close games. Especially that last game. Like, StarDuck dealt so much damage early on. He killed so many workers time and time again, but the Banshee harass was disgusting. StarDuck just couldn't deal with the Banshees. It felt like he was really adamant about not throwing down any shield batteries. He had one shield battery, I think, at his natural, but not at his main and not at his third. So because of that, he was being abused. Because of that, like, the Banshees were just pulling him apart. They just kept dipping in and out, getting more and more probe kills over time. I want to say that 3 Banshees killed over 30 probes by themselves over the course of that game. Maybe even 40 probes. Like, I'm afraid to look at the replay. It was absolutely disgusting, the kill count on those Banshees. And on the one hand, I understand. I know there are a lot of Zerg players that behave in a very similar way when they go up against Oracles, and there are some Zerg players Chappy, that try and cut spores, and they try to defend with queens instead. They try to like be as efficient as possible by avoiding spores and making sure that their queen positioning is on point. But the problem is that if their queen positioning isn't on point, then the oracles, they just keep dipping in, they get more kills and more kills and more kills, and at a certain point it's just not worth it. At a certain point you've just put yourself behind just because you're trying to cut corners. Meanwhile, we see Seither opening up with a Rax Expand, this time going for a Reaper. We have a bunker behind the mineral line. Seither is going to be able to delay mining here at the natural for quite some time, as this did go unscattered. Now that the Nexus is done, StarDuck has eyes on this. We have a shield battery on the way. We're going to need a Stalker as well. StarDuck is going to be forced to bank up his probes here in the main base and be a little bit inefficient. So a nice little win here for Seither. He's gonna actually manually try to mine from these specific mineral patches. I like this from StarDuck. Gonna try to make the most out of a bad situation. Meanwhile, the Stalker is on the way. We do have a hidden probe out on the map. I imagine we're going to be seeing a pylon soon, because StarDuck opens with a Twilight Council. He follows up with a Dark Shrine. This is dangerous though, because he has to make sure that this Reaper doesn't get into the main. Oh my god, the control, the micro is real, papi. Seither juggling the SCV into the bunker. Oh my god, and here we go. He's making a beeline for the main base, and it looks like he does get in. And Seither, he sees the Dark Shrine. Oof. Seither just makes sure that StarDuck knows that he knows. And does StarDuck cancel? Is it too late to cancel? We already have a pylon across the map. Seither should be getting ready. We have a Raven on the way. This time he's not going for a Banshee first, Raven instead. And with the completion of that Raven, DTs aren't going to do much at all. To be fair, I'm sure StarDuck is aware of that. I'm sure he doesn't want to throw away too many resources in things that won't do anything. So he's going for a faster third base. He's going to transition. DTs can find damage later on, I'm sure. So being warped in on the other side of this cliff face. Raven going to finish up in a couple of seconds, but the DTs are going to slip into the natural, and they can get some SCVs. Oh, but Seither is quick to respond, quick to react. He goes for the scan, and only 2 workers go down. Oh, and there is that Raven. StarDuck is gonna, oh, he actually bypasses the army somehow, and he's gonna get a couple more workers. Not bad. Despite the fact that he got scouted, he gets 5 SCVs. Could have been worse. Could have been better. Could have been worse. StarDuck going to be taking a third base behind this. We have Blink on the way. Gateway Explosion as well. Oh. At least, again, he was able to take that faster third. And at least Seither was forced to make a Raven and not a Banshee. So we're not going to be seeing any kind of weird shenanigans early on. We see that Seither is going to have to respect this a little bit more. Go into his 3 Rax 1-1 opener. What we expect to see in this matchup. Hellion gets across the map, and Seither gets eyes on the third and the saturation of the third, so he knows he should be safe to macro from here. There's no 2-base all-in or 2-base timing coming out from StarDuck. Nothing crazy. And, ooh, Seither's gonna hit a very strong timing here, by the way. We have 2 tanks. We got the Raven, full of energy, getting ready to disable or even an anti-armor missile. We have a shield battery in position with an overcharge, don't get me wrong. But we have 2 Adepts, 4 Stalkers to work with. This may just be it here. A lot of damage being done already to the tank, and the tank go down. Looks like it will. Very nicely done. Only 1 tank remaining. Overcharges pop, but oh, the shield battery is going to go down. The auto charge zone away the rest of the army. The Marines stim on forward, or they push it forward. They don't even have stim. And there's no way out here for StarDuck. A couple more tank shots going off on those Stalkers, and it looks like it's going to be too much. Even though these Marines don't have stim or any upgrades, the DPS output is just a little bit too much here. And this was a very strong timing. GG gets called. And Seither takes game number 3 and he qualifies for ANZ Champs. GG. StarDuck, despite opening up or following up with Blink, he didn't have any Stalkers out on the map. Again, because he went for a Dark Shrine first and because he delayed Blink, he didn't really have any map presence. Because of that, when Seither moved out across the map, there was nothing to stop him. There was nothing to scout him, more importantly. Nothing to see, so StarDuck had no idea that he had to prepare himself for any kind of push. He was just playing blindly, and that's what happens when you open up with a Dark Shrine like that and when it doesn't get the damage that you need done. Oof. The punish for the opener was definitely real, so very smart play there from Seither. Very smart indeed. And congratulations, as Seither is the first player to qualify for ANZ Champs. He's going to be joining players like Piglet, like Probe, Pez, and Azure. So very well played. Seither was the favorite for this entire qualifier, don't get us wrong, so it makes sense that he makes it through. But now things get a little bit more interesting because now that the favorite is through, who's going to be the second player to qualify? We're about to find out. We are here to find out. Let's check out that bracket and see where we are. We can close that match history. We can refresh the ESL bracket. !B in the chat to look at it yourself. Oh, and we have a couple of updates here. So Mighty Kiwi takes down Jade off 2-0. Run Amok forfeits. Oh my god. I'm a little bit surprised. Like, Run Amok is a really good player, and honestly, I think he has a good chance against David. I do think that he has a good chance against David, so yeah, a little bit surprising. Maybe something came up. I know, you know, we're getting into Saturday and things, people have plans on Saturdays, typically, makes sense. So maybe something came up, but Run Amok, yeah, he gets walkovered. Mighty Kiwi is going to be waiting in that next round.